Welcome to another Minneapolis by Night. This is the Mage venue. Specifically, this will be a side scene for Miriam, who's been delving into a little bit of cross-training and studies working with the virtual adepts the past couple days. Primarily some data analysis. But with the new drug in town as well, there's a number of reasons to maybe step out of the computer lab and get out into the world again for a bit. So,
all right.
Just to kind of buzz over this, the head of the virtual adepts had given you a number of various data sets, including economics, crime in the city.
Right.
You cross-reference some of that to your maps for nodes and such. And then he also gave you some information regarding some business shifts. And then, of course, you obtained a sample of this new drug known as crystal red.
All right. Miriam's going to keep a handle on the drug for now. She mostly has it in an effort to get it to someone who can actually analyze it in the near future. But for now, she's just keeping it on hand.
Okay. And you know that as you've cross-referenced, a lot of these high crime areas seem to be swirling around the various nodes that you had gotten rid of. The most recent
she's going to look at where she stuck the neighborhood she stuck Tokugawa.
Okay.
Is that a particularly high or low crime zone?
That one actually appears to be pretty stable right now.
Excellent.
The other one that has stabilized more in the last couple days, other than a few spikes that were tied to the crystal red, is the area around the hub of hell.
All right. I'm going to just continue off where we were from the blue booking from here.
Okay, absolutely.
Because it's going to be hard for me to type it up anyways. So he had just asked if they should destabilize the city regardless of who's stabilizing it.
That was kind of his thoughts. Where
yeah.
The more we the more you destabilize they may not be the people you like as much, but
yeah, Miriam's gonna think about that for a second, and then is going to reply. We may have to be the bad guys in our war for Ascension, but in the end, Ascension is a goal worth being the bad guys for. There are other ideals more important than stability. And if we let the enemies of Ascension take root, it'll be a lot harder to get rid of them. Especially if they have the public support, because they're the ones who are stabilizing the place.
Well, that's a fair point.
There's rumors that, and I'm sure you've heard them, that the technocracy have been allying with some other very nasty things in the city. Though the things that they ally with don't tend to like things being stable.
Well, I can't really speak on that personally. I'm not familiar with the situation. but that would be troubling. Do you have any idea which entity?
I've been
that
hearing
might be?
rumors of the Sabbat and the Black Spirals.
That would be odd for them to ally themselves.
Well, my source is high up in the Camarilla, and he's someone who warned me about something that will happen if the Camarilla don't get their ass together.
I see.
Yeah. It's only rumors. I can't speak to the validity of it because I don't know anyone of us high up enough to have that information.
No, that's
It's basically one of their massive traitor in our midst type deals.
well, I suppose what could happen. You know, that much as I hate to say it, that sounds like something we need to monitor at this point, but limited interference. Certainly, if we can assist them in stabilizing themselves without jeopardizing our own position, but we can't really afford to put ourselves.
I've kind of appointed myself unofficial liaison to the Camarilla. I can talk to certain people. I want to make sure that it's not that they're not running these restaurants, because they are also someone we know who have lots of money and like stability.
No, that's fair. That might be prudent. I certainly can see the benefits of that, of contacting them. We've had some limited contact with the kindred. The original point of contact that we were given, the Tremere, is apparently no longer in the area.
Yeah, they have they have a lot of off with their head situations, but I know where they hang out. I don't know who the current prince is because apparently the previous prince, who was Sabbat, got deposed as an effort of trying to get their house together.
Well, that I suppose happens as well. And going that high into their politics can be dangerous as well. Gaining information can do a lot more. Can be just as beneficial.
Exactly.
You don't always need to topple them from the top. Just move a couple pieces at the bottom.
Exactly. And eventually they get a weak prince who everyone thinks they can control in power, and they just leave him there. I've seen Game of Thrones.
Yes, well, that seems to be a common mindset for many who wish to be in charge but don't want to take responsibility, shall we say.
Exactly.
Certainly sounds like you've got some angles you could pursue to fill out this, help flesh out this information. That's beneficial.
Yeah. But for now, what it looks like is near a lot of the nodes is where a lot of the high crime is.
Well, given what we know about some of these, they're not the most pleasant.
I'm most worried about here, she says, pointing right at the Hellmouth. because I know for a fact that is a very, very dark node, and the fact that it's low crime is troubling.
Well, if they are what you think they are, they may also be making efforts to stabilize their own home base.
I've got multiple sources that they are what I think they are. Because you're aware that after we took down the power plant the first time, the Kindred started having nightmares about that place.
I wasn't aware of the entire situation, but I knew something of it.
Yeah, they were having hallucinations and nightmares about that particular place. And the guru were saying that the spirits were acting weird around there. And they have the best anti-magic field around that building that I've ever seen.
Well, I would say that that would be even more troubling.
Exactly.
Because that definitely would imply that one of ours is involved.
Would imply that. It would. And I would get closer, but I have a criminal record, so trying to spy on a law firm in person is a very difficult thing to do.
Yes, we'll have to perhaps move it up a bit on maybe make it a bit more of a priority for others as well.
Yeah, that's part of why I've been training here is I want to be able to break into their system. Their system has crap tons of security. And apparently part of that security involves marauders.
This is at the law firm, you say?
Yes. After acquiring that VR interface that I got from you guys last month, that was my second target. And I could feel the quiet in the digital web. And I got the heck out of Dodge before terrible things and still took some paradox.
And you say this was at the law firm. That's even more troubling. I knew we had evidence of some sort of marauder-like activity. Actually at a lab, but perhaps there's more in the city than we thought. Or perhaps there's only one and he's simply being more pragmatic than we thought.
Either way, out of character, there's another possibility, but I don't know that in character, so meh.
There's lots of possibilities.
Well, it's the Malkavian Madness Network encroaches on the digital web, so if you have a Malkavian in your computer systems, then it'll make the digital web feel very quiet. But I have no idea about that. I barely know that the Malkavians are the crazy ones, so...
Well, either way, there's a number of things we need to be concerned with.
Absolutely.
Did you have any place particular you were going to start? Anything you need to get started?
I'm going to have to arrange another meeting with the Kindred before I do anything else. Beyond that, have you heard about this drug that's hit the streets called Crystal Red?
Heard of it? Yes. Seen it? No.
She takes it out of her pocket. Know anybody with a chemistry lab?
Oh well, we have a couple in our among the traditions.
Great, and she'll hand it over.
Okay.
It's just figured. I figure you know more people in that end than I do, but I was able to get my hands on some.
Well, I will put the word out, as it were. Ask those people who I know.
Given the rumors that link it to the what's the term, the virus, this may actually involve the Kindred as well. But I figure they're going to be working on that from their own end.
That seems a safe assumption.
So I would not let, if you on your end and or the people we talk to end up also talking to the Kindred, I wouldn't talk to the Tremere about this because I have a hunch that they may be involved in this, but it's just a hunch at this point.
Well, reasonable concern, at least.
Hey, I may dance with the devil, but doesn't mean I have to trust him.
That's a fair point. I think it's safe to say we've all danced that one once or twice.
Yeah, I just dance a little closer than most.
Well, that's something else we've all done now and then, but just something to be aware of, I suppose. So we will. I will pass this on, and we'll proceed from there.
Excellent. Beyond that, is there anything you need me to pass on to Armor?
I don't believe so. I know he was involved in a raid the other day on the Crystal Red situation.
Yeah, I read about that. Sounded like him, anyways.
Yes, I think he met with some of the other um, younger mages of the city and got some assistance that way. But I can't think of anything else particular. If there's something I can do for you, let me know. But
Well, most of what I've needed has been done just cross training for this last week.
well, I'm glad I could be of assistance.
I got to get back out there.
Well, I'm not a field guy myself, but I can at least respect those who are.
Yeah. Hey, even before I woke, I was a lot more on computers than anywhere else. But every once in a while, you just got to get out there and. Besides, I haven't stolen any credit card numbers in a week. My bank account's running low.
Well, if it comes down to it, I'm always looking for new staff as well. Possibility down the line of an alternative means of income.
It's true, but it's harder to steal from assholes when you're doing legitimate work.
Well, that's true too. I can't say I can argue with that.
Yeah, and all those fancy schmancy gold cards, they all have those nice RFID tags on them that make them so much easier to steal.
You've done this more than once before, haven't you?
She just grins broadly. And with that, she takes out of her bag and puts her credit card skimmer on the desk and opens it up, and it's been hand soldered together. It's all it does is it reads the riffed tags on credit cards, and you just need to bump it next to someone's bag, and it'll read their credit card.
Okay.
And she just keeps grinning, zips the thing back up, puts it back in her bag. Yes, I've done this before.
Well, very well then. So I will let you to it. If you need anything from me, you know where to find me.
Of course.
He kind of gestures around and says, "Not a whole lot of reasons for me to leave my lab."
She nods. And she'll look on the floor and figure out what his brand of energy drink is, and she'll order him a case before she goes.
He actually seems to have some that really aren't as common anymore. He's got like the original amp laying around. He's got the like the balls energy and.
Yeah, she'll order him a case of balls.
Okay. He kind of just goes back to his thing then.
Okay. And yeah, I guess that's all I need to do with him.
All right.
I think one thing she's gonna do is she's going to, while I've got you here, is she's going to try to check up on Tokugawa in person.
Absolutely. Well, you have a pretty good idea what area he's in.
Well, I put him there, so.
Right.
And I haven't told anyone else where I put him, so.
No, it was you and McKenna were the only ones there.
Yeah. So McKenna's told the guru to stay the fuck away from there, and Miriam just has kept her mouth shut, so.
All right. So you're going to head to the head down to the neighborhood.
Yeah, to the previously high crime area that is now probably stabilized because there's a dragon eating anyone who does crime in the area. It's a good way to stabilize the crime rate. And yeah, I'll bring up Prime Site.
Okay.
Still enough?
Yep.
Ritual casting's not impeded, so I want to bring it up for the scene, so I need another success. So, yay. So, yeah, I've got Prime set up and looking for where he be.
Well, actually, it looks like there's a number of effects that have been. Someone's worked some potent magic to try and conceal the basement of this warehouse, as well as the what looks like some like a node or a wellspring
Okay.
there. Actually, bigger than the one that originally had been at the.
Oh, God, it's a rank 10 node?
Yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
And you would guess that that's probably due to his efforts.
Probably. That's... Well, I'm glad I'm glad he's on our side for now. And yeah, Miriam will march right on up to the front door of the warehouse. Try the door.
Roll me perception alertness.
1 perk alert coming up.
You notice that there's quite a few, maybe not well dressed, but at least reasonably well dressed Asian gentlemen in the streets around here. You know, they're definitely on the business side of business casual.
Missing pinkies.
Nothing so obvious.
Okay, so they're not Yakuza. Good.
Or if they are, they're not significant enough to warrant it.
Well, if they're not, they haven't fucked up.
Right.
Because you only start cutting your pinkies off when you fuck up. And that's fine. She's still trying the door.
Right. The door will open.
Okay. She'll walk right inside.
Okay.
Are there a lot of very angry, well-dressed Asian men inside?
They don't appear too angry at this point, but
Okay.
they are there, certainly.
And Miriam will politely bow and she'll say, I'm here to speak with Tokugawa. He knows me.
All right. And you notice there's a number of crates with various product laying on top of them, different types of weapons, that sort of thing.
I'm not seeing crystal red, am I?
No, there's a they have kind of a lounge club area set up in one corner, sort of a brothel type environment.
Yeah, I don't mind if they're moving guns. That just means I've got a new place to buy them. And as long as they don't put me in the brothel, I'm okay with it. So
where the hell did my notes go on him?
the great thing about the Jewish take on sin is that all you're supposed to do is waggle your finger and then walk away. So, yeah, Miriam's fine with it.
And he's dressed a little less. Actually, he's got like a paramilitary armor on.
Okay.
Couple of swords that are more modern look to them.
And does anyone ask for my weapons?
They do not.
Okay. I figured not. Usually the crime den doesn't ask for your weapons because everyone has them.
And that would be exactly the impression you would get, is that they don't care because they have more.
Exactly. Yeah, Miriam's got a little tiny dinky pistol, and that's all she needs. But yeah. And she'll bow to Tokugawa and she'll say, I see you've set yourself up quite nicely.
He says, well, I can't take all the credit. Dear lady that dropped me off with you assisted greatly in that. Getting the neighborhood, as it were, cleaned out.
Well, I wanted to check up on you personally. Make sure Minneapolis is treating you well and no more people are left inside out.
No, I haven't had much need for that.
That's good. I'm sorry to say we have still not quite brought the hermetics who violated your area first to justice yet.
Well, I know we had some that were forcibly removed from that area. What do they call it? The hub, center, ring, something of that effect. I don't know if that was all of them. I suspect whoever was involved there, it was a fairly substantial group.
I know that the council's been informed of what they were doing, but I'm still fairly certain the ones who are actually responsible are still at large, because that's the way politics goes.
No, that it is. And I understand that. I don't expect it to happen immediately.
Of course.
Have you had any luck on your other ventures? I know you were involved in a number of different things when last we spoke.
Indeed, I've had some luck. I've had more answers, which lead to more questions and other fun things.
It does tend to happen, unfortunately.
Have you had any problems with the vampires?
Not recently. We did have some initially, but I think some of them have been.
Yeah,
they've been deterred.
I've found out that my previous point of contact was actually a traitor in their midst, which, after finding that out, I was a little worried that he would have. My warning of big, powerful thing doesn't want you feeding in his area would have led to lots of more feeding in your area, but if you were able to deter them, that's good.
Well, even their kind don't care for bullets.
Yep. Especially not if you prime infuse them.
Yeah, a little extra doesn't hurt, but I have sufficient that it doesn't matter either.
Yeah. A LMG can take down pretty much anything in the world of darkness.
Yes, well, it's given sufficient quantities.
Exactly.
As well. Aiming becomes less of an issue too, you'd be amazed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're putting out 1,600 rounds per minute.
Yeah, and then you bring in a couple friends to help.
Each of them putting out 1,600 rounds per minute.
Correct.
Exactly.
I see you've played this game before.
I served in the U.S. Navy.
As I say, I see you've played this game before.
Exactly. Beyond that, I take it you've been appraised of the new drug hitting the streets?
Yes, I'm monitoring the situation. I generally don't get involved in drug trade myself, but I have good
Well,
reason to be concerned, at least.
I've got one of ours looking at it chemically. But I have reason to suspect it may be connected to the vampires.
Well, that could be a whole nother concern. Although rest assured, they can be dealt with as well.
Exactly. I figured in your line of work that might be something you should be informed of.
It doesn't hurt.
Beyond that, out of character, did you come up with a name for the regional chain that's been buying up the restaurants?
No,
Mind if I come up with one?
that's fine.
Okay. Have you been perchance looked at these stuffer shacks that have been popping up?
Well, not directly. It wasn't something I.
Yeah, something odd.
Needless to say, I'm not a big
Well, I just got done talking.
connoisseur.
I just got done talking to our data guy, and the crime statistics in town have been doing something weird. They've been going down near where all the stuffer shacks have bought out local restaurants, which is the opposite of what should normally happen.
Yeah, well, it seems. Although on the flip side, if they're getting employment and that sort of thing, that could, in theory, do it.
It could, but call me paranoid, but I'm usually right. It sounds more like somebody with a lot of money who have a very keen interest in stability may be behind them, which the two organizations that lead to my mind would either be the vampires or the technocrats. And if it's that second one, then it's probably in our interest not to keep the crime rates that low.
Well, I can see your concern. I prefer to keep crime rates less detected rather than concern myself with how high or low they are.
Of course.
In my experience, that's just been a better operational plan.
Far be it from me to tell you how to do your business, but maybe robbing a restaurant or two might shed some light.
There's always possibilities for exploring new avenues.
Beyond that, anything I can do for you? I work electronic security, and I've got contacts with all the other supernaturals.
I haven't had too much. Not generally a lot of concerns.
Okay.
But
well, if you need any electronic security things, I'm perfectly willing to work with. She just gestures around.
Well, I'll bear that in mind. It's good to know.
And she clears her throat and she says, I see you've been working on the basement.
Well, just trying to, keep things moving forward. I like productivity.
Productivity is putting it lightly.
I like to think of it as improving my holdings. I've got a number of businesses opening as well in the near future. So, holdings. Can't make anything quite as nice as the restaurant chains there, but
right. Have you looked into the law firm of Ram, Wolf, and Hart? I keep saying Wolf, Ram, and Hart, but that's because I know about some high-end mathematics and the guy named Wolfram. So, Ram, Wolf, and Hart.
Well, needless to say, I don't generally deal with lawyers except my own.
Well, they're sitting on a very dangerous thing. And they have some very dangerous people. And they have an anti-magic field.
So are you suggesting I get rid of them or hire them?
No, I'm saying be really careful. And if you hear anything, come to me.
Well, I can certainly keep eyes and ears open. That's never a problem.
Yeah, this is something that I don't think, with all due respect, of course, to you and your organization, I don't think you can take them down alone. Mostly because the vampires are trying to take them down, we're trying to take them down, and I'm trying to get the guru to try to help take them down too.
Well, I was considering that perhaps they'd be business partners more than anything. If they're that capable.
They're sitting on a hellmouth. And they've got they've got the strongest anti-magic field I've ever seen on their building. And they've got private security with military grade equipment.
Well,
and after we took down the power plant the first time, all the vampires started having nightmares about them.
Well, if they fed this, as you call it, node, when they when you took this thing down, that could cause such effects. If suddenly they found themselves overly fueled.
Indeed. It's just I would not recommend allying with them. They reek of very, very bad things. If you hear anything, I'd like to know.
I will I'll keep you appraised as I encounter new information.
All right. What's the going rate for a submachine gun?
Well, probably tends to depend more on whether you whether you want a American made, whether you want it registered or off the books.
Off the books. I get the feeling I might need some heavier hardware, and I want something I can hide in my car.
Fair enough. Well,
I did train in the MP5. If you've got any of those lying around.
Well, I can have them around. I don't now, but.
Well, what do you have lying around?
For the time being, I can couple of different Chinese models, Russian, your basic American, but it's not much better than what you're going to be able to modify with.
I'll take a Russian one. It's in All right, one moment. I've got to look this up out of character. This is something Miriam would know with her 2 dots of firearms. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's hard to type a W when the left side of your keyboard doesn't work. Brr. Sorry about this. Live, everybody. You wouldn't happen to have a PP90M1, would you?
He says, I'm sure laying around I can come up with one.
She nods and says, well, get one of those with Helix magazine. That would be amazing. And what's the going rate?
We can put together a market price for that, I think.
All right. And hey, look, I know what I'm spending my 2 dots of resources on this month.
Right?
Well, technically 3. I did say I was using that for computer equipment, but fuck it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's seen.
All right. This has been another Minneapolis by Night Mage venue. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more.